Mashaba has been named by ActionSA as the party's candidate for mayor of Johannesburg in the 2026 local government elections. Katleho Sekhotho is there for us. Katleho, this is, I suppose, not necessarily a big surprise, and the Herman Mashaba being named as ActionSA's mayoral candidate. Tell us about what he has had to say.
Thank you, Mpumi. Certainly, to an excited crowd, Herman Mashaba has been announced as ActionSA's official Joburg mayoral candidate. And he goes toe-to-toe with the other organizations. We've already heard from the DA, who've fielded their candidate, being Helen Ziller. And so the Mashaba went onto the podium to an excited crowd and outlined a number of priorities that he'll be looking at. And number one being to fix, and he's called it Operation Fix Johannesburg. And this is about reclaiming the city, as ActionSA puts it, and giving it back to the citizens of the residents of this city. And so Mashaba has outlined that his top priority will be to ensure that small businesses are empowered. He exclusively outlined that small business programs will be exclusively for South Africans only. He's also noted that they will go back to the work that he was doing in his first stint as Joburg mayor, in that working on hijacked inner city buildings in the Joburg CBD, and a number of other interventions related to crime prevention. He outlined that about 500 officers will be employed for the next number of years to ensure that structures like JMPD are empowered as they do their work. And so Mashaba has also indicated his intention to see that every department is empowered and that money goes to where it needs to. The leader of ActionSA highlighting that Joburg cannot turn around if economically, financially, it is not stable. So making sure that corruption is rooted out, another big feature for ActionSA, meaning that they will be looking at empowering units within law enforcement structures to ensure that they do the work of rooting out corruption. ActionSA has always been big on being against cadre deployment, and so they've said that quite outwardly a number of times, and saying that that often leads to incompetent employees in certain positions, and that's why work sometimes is oftentimes not being done. And so Mashaba outlining their targeting of corruption through law enforcement agencies as well. So the stage almost set ahead of the local government elections, hopefully later this year in November, and a number of the other parties in the political landscape still to outline their mayoral candidates. But quite an excited crowd and supporters of ActionSA announcing their support for Mashaba being announced as the candidate for this party in Joburg.
And Katleho, did Mashaba say anything about this unfinished business? I mean, he does have a narrative that while he was mayor from 2016 to 2019, his tenure was cut short because of the internal politics within the DA. Talk to us about his strategy going forward. You did speak about law enforcement and really cleaning up the city. He also made mention of a high-profile case that we saw recently of DJ Waras.
Yes, absolutely, Mpumi. So the family of Warwick Stock was here in attendance, and ActionSA noting their attendance and thanking them for being here. And as it relates to Warwick Stock, who was shot and killed in a just outside a Joburg CBD building, and that was a building that was quite apparently hijacked. It goes back to the work of ActionSA, which aims to reclaim some of these hijacked buildings. He noted that they had about 100, they had flagged about a number, over 100 buildings during his tenure back when he did his first stint as mayor in Joburg, and about 44 were then returned to their rightful owners. And so he's saying that in light of the death of Warwick Stock and him now saying he's available and he's now a candidate in the running, he wants to pick up that baton again as Joburg mayor and go back to the work he was doing in cleaning up the Joburg city, and one of those being finding out hijacked buildings, who they belong to, returning them to their rightful owners, or dealing with lawlessness where it does exist. So certainly cleaning up the city, a big theme for Action SA.
All right, that is Katleho Sekhotho there coming to us from that announcement of Herman Mashaba as Action SA's mayoral candidate for Johannesburg.